we go. And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, if you're watching this or if you're watching the replay. I'm Karen Clark, and I'm also known as the Quantum Queen. My business name is Clarkatians & Co., and I am a business coach, and I work with many business owners and entrepreneurs in several different modalities. And so I ran the series Entrepreneurs Gold Nuggets about 2 years ago and interviewed some wonderful entrepreneurs. And I stopped it for a while, and I have started again. This is Entrepreneurs Gold Nugget Series 2 in honor of my pardon?
That's good, yeah.
In honor of my beautiful dad, who passed away last year in April. And it made me decide that, well, I decided, not made me, we know about our language, don't we? I decided or chose that I wanted to run the series again in honor of my dad, because he was an entrepreneur before the word was even bandied around the way it is now.
Yeah.
He was an amazing man. I love him so much, and he taught me and gave me so many gifts as I grew up with him, sharing with me about business. I used to go to work with him every weekend, every Saturday morning from about 9 years old. And he taught me so many things about business. And one of the real gifts he gave me was to teach me the value of serving. And so here we are with Andrea Sun, who is an entrepreneur. I would like to introduce you to her. She has many years of training and experience in all sorts of Chinese remedies, such as acupuncture, intuitive Qi alignment, and now she works with other female soulpreneurs to certify them in the most recent energy healing, which is Pellowah. However, I would like to hand over to Andrea to introduce herself and say anything about that as an introduction to this interview. Andrea, welcome. Lovely to have you here.
Oh, Karen, thank you. What a delight to be invited to come on to your Entrepreneurs Gold Nuggets. So, where would you like me to start?
Well, you can start by, if you want to, if I haven't introduced you with enough detail, you can start by doing that. However, It's over to you once you've done that, you know who you are, what you do, to go back however far you want to in your life, your journey, the journey that started you as an entrepreneur and a business owner. You can go back as far as you like, when you were a little girl and you wanted to do something or whatever, and just briefly go through the process or through the journey you have taken to bring you to where you were today. That's the first question.
Okay, great. Okay, so my name's Andrea. I'm New Zealand-born Chinese. That's why I speak perfect English, second generation, like Karen, another Kiwi. And like Karen, I was brought up in a business. Like my parents started with a fish and chip shop. They started in debt in business because they had to have 500 people at their wedding, and they had to pay for that. So Mum was pregnant with me in the fish and chip shop. And I know you're all business owners, so you understand that, what it's like to be in business, in debt, and pregnant. I don't know if you've experienced that. But anyway, so she was under a fair bit of stress, I think. And also, but that was a genetic pattern also related to my grandmother, because my grandmother had 8 kids and 2 that were adopted. And she was pregnant with children all the time as well. So basically she had 2 weeks off to have me and went back to business, right? So there wasn't a lot of time to play with little Andrea. And I was a little sensitive child that would take on, stress easily. Later on, I took on stress from clients, and, if someone had a sore shoulder, I'd end up with sore shoulder at 3 a.m. I don't know if you've ever related. Someone had relationship issues that would bring up stuff for me. And so I had to really work through this sensitive side, which actually was my gift later, which was my intuitive side, but I didn't know that, right?
Mm.
So fast forward, 4 years old, I'm working in the fruit and vegetable shop bagging carrots. 12, 13 years old, I'm working in the burger bar 7 days a week, counting all the money. That was my job in the burger bar. Big piles of money and piles of tens. I thought mum and dad were really well off. I didn't understand how business worked, right? 15 years old, when mum gets sick, I'm taking the day off school to look after the tobacconist bookshop, So that was my upbringing, like Karen, and I learned hard work, and I learned to just be practical and get on with it and not face emotions, not face anything, just get on with it. That was what I learned, survival, business,
And that was the belief that your parents gave you, was that you have to work hard to get by. And
Yes.
now you understand, like we do who work in mindset, that we're given these beliefs by our parents and our grandparents and different people, and we think they're real until we learn to actually assess them all and decide if they are real and if they do serve us moving forward. So that we have to work hard to be successful is one of the most common beliefs, and yet
Yes,
it is
we
not
were
true.
both brought up with it. We were both brought up with it, I mean,
Oh,
and
we've got a guest here. Just to interrupt you for 1 second. Kelly's on this morning. Hi, Kelly. How wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us.
hi, Kelly. Good to see you. Thanks. So that was the story, that was my upbringing, that was my family conditioning, and they got that from their parents and their
Mm,
parents,
mm,
because mum came from 10 kids, and so did dad, came from 8 kids, so they all had this conditioning. So that was what I became a carbon copy of my parents. That put it that way. The bottom line, being a sensitive Pisces, right through my teens and my 20s, I was a carbon copy of my parents, right?
mm,
And until I had a wake-up call, and I was working in a job as a fashion accessories buyer. I had a great job, but I felt like a robot. I had no joy, no
mm.
fulfillment. I was going through the motions. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but
I think
I
many
was
do.
totally there. It was a wake-up
Mm,
call. It was Saturn return. I went away for 4 days and nights, journaled, wrote, virtually never left the room, and came out was, I need to find Andrea. I need to find who she really is, away from her family conditioning. So
mm.
that was the point that I made the decision to break the cycle of my family conditioning. Even though
Wow.
I love my parents dearly and they gave me a lot of love and we had a lot of fun, I made a decision at 27, I was going to break the cycle. To break the cycle, I actually needed to leave the country at the time because I was a psychic sponge whenever I was in their vicinity. So I decided I was going to England and I was going on a one-way ticket. Now,
That's
so that was
brave.
an intuition. Sorry?
That was brave.
After 4 days, yes. But what I'm saying is that's what my intuition said loud and clear. London, you're going to London, right? So I followed my intuition, and next thing you know, 4 months later, I'm in London on a one-way ticket. But magically, I managed to get a 2-year visa, but see, I didn't know about intuition very well at that time,
Mm.
but I was meant to go in 4 months' time. Why? Because I was 27. If I'd left it, like my father said, come and stay with us for 2 years and you can save your money, I would have been over 28, which meant I couldn't have got a working holiday visa at that time
Oh, yes, because
for
they
2
did that.
years.
Mm,
See, that's why your intuition just, is a game
mm,
changer. If I'd listened to
mm,
my father, I wouldn't have been able to be on a working holiday for that long.
mm,
Okay, so we go to England on a one-way ticket, totally trusting the magic of everything. End up by wanting to travel, go to New Zealand house, find my cousins in London. He's going to Turkey. I go traveling with him, da da da. Everything flows for me perfectly. Now, what happened when I was in London was I got this feeling to get in touch with my body because I was actually quite disconnected from my heart and my body. So I did a remedial massage course just for fun, didn't I? Little did I realize I was going to end up by doing that 30 years later and teaching remedial massage in Australia. That led me to become a qualified remedial massage therapist, set up a business in London. Then I moved to Australia. My visa had run out. I moved to Australia on a one-way ticket. I gave myself 1 month to find a job. And fast forward 6 weeks later, I ended up by building a successful remedial massage business in 1 year, from 6 clients to 27 in 1 year. No money, no database, and no social media. So what was the game changer? My intuitive feminine knowing.
Yeah, and of course we all have that.
Sorry? We've all got that.
We all have intuition. It's a gift that we're all given at birth. And sadly, our conditioning or our patterning and our beliefs and all of those things stop us from listening to our intuition, and we start to listen to that other voice in our head. You know, I've got a friend who calls it the icky, shitty, bitty committee, which I think is an amazing description of that voice in our head. As humans, we all have, and it's unfortunately errs to the negative. And so we tend to have these negative comments that come up all the time, making us doubt ourselves, making us think we're not enough in some way, making us think that we're not lovable enough, or we don't have enough of something to do something. And then there's our intuition, which, as you say, is the thing that if we listen to, it will always guide us on the most amazing path with fantastic, beautiful, fabulous, magical results.
Well, it did for me. I was away for 2.5 years. I've totally reinvented Andrea completely when I was away traveling for 2.5 years. But yeah, no, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, you know, there you go. I built this successful business by following my feminine flow. So I said, I'm not going to do it the way mum and dad do it. Work hard, burn out. Mum would fall asleep driving the car, you know, from Lower Hutt to Wellington, smoking to keep awake while she was falling asleep. You know, smoking to keep awake while she's driving and falling asleep, you know, on that freeway, Karen, right? Lower Hutt.
I know that road very well. I've driven it many, many times, and it's not that long either. It's not really.
It's only half an hour, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is not working. So I decided to do it the feminine way, or the intuitive way. When I felt like a day off, I'd just go and, you know, rest, go to the park, have some fun with friends. When I felt like working, I was fully focused and I'd be fully booked. And 80% of my clients were booking for packages. I was magnetic, right? But we've all got this. And that's what Karen's saying. We've all got this. But I had to reclaim that true part of me and remember who I was. That was my, you know, learning.
Yeah, you chose to. You chose to.
I chose to.
You chose to. You didn't have to. You chose to.
Yeah. I chose to.
It's really important too.
I chose to, because I couldn't go back to the old way of being.
Good. And is there any more? Do you want to bring it up to date, or shall I ask you some other questions?
Sure. So fast forward, I did the remedial massage. It was awesome. Ended up by being, you know, building it, you know, it was very successful after a year. So I ended up by training a team of massage therapists, because the health gym, the 5-star hotel, wanted to get more money. They were getting a percentage of every appointment. So they were keen to get more money, and I was already at maximum capacity. So that led on to me studying acupuncture degree 4 years. And there's another example. I went from 23% in chemistry at school, because I was totally stressed at school, to 92% in chemistry in my bachelor degree. Mindset. Okay. So that at 38, right? So studying later in life, did my acupuncture degree, 25 years of Qigong, lots, you know, years of meditating, everything thoroughly immersing in natural therapies, including 5 healing modalities: Reiki, heart resonance, transference. Pellowah was the one that I loved. So that's the Pellowah. So that's what meant that I was teaching that for 20 years. And then it was like, you know, I don't have any children. What's going to happen when I die? All the knowledge that I've learned over the years and how I cleared a genetic chronic skin condition, health condition. How am I going to pass that legacy on? So I'm going to create an Intuitive Ease Academy. So what this does is specializes working with leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, practitioners, soulpreneurs that want to really bring generational impact and transformative client results. So in 3 days, you can become a certified Pellowah practitioner, which the gorgeous Karen is as well.
Which I am, yes.
And so you can do that.
And
You can do
Kelly.
that with the coaching. You can do that with your acupuncture, massage, healing, or whatever you're doing to amplify your clients' results, because it's the easier way for a person to connect to their intuition. It's a fast track. You connect to your intuition and you step back from your DNA. It activates your DNA, realigns all your meridians, so you can actually release the old trauma with more ease, without actually having to go into talk therapy. So it activates the light within you, physical, emotional, spiritual, nervous system health. So to me, it was the perfect doorway for practitioners like ourselves to help our clients in areas that we're not necessarily trained in. So if you're not trained in health, you don't want to do another 20 years training in health. If you don't want to spend a lot of years training in nervous system therapy, trauma therapy, emotional release, NLP, NSR, all the stuff that I'd done, if you don't want to spend all those years, you can just give them a Pellowah, right? And you can give it to your family, your friends, your pets, your clients, and it's in your hands for the rest of your life. So
it's amazing, Andrea.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and I love that's amazing, and I love the way that you've explained that, because that will be really helpful for a lot of other coaches and practitioners, as you say, to realize that they can train. It's quite an intensive training for 3 days, and then they can help their clients in another modality if it suits that relationship, that client coach or practitioner relationship, and get amazing results in a really short time. And that's what we're all looking for with our clients, aren't we? We're looking to help them get amazing results as quickly as possible, not to go, no disrespect intended, but not to go to a a psychotherapist for 3 years, which is what a lot of people do, or more. So to have 1 or 2 or 3 1-hour Pellowah sessions and achieve what they may achieve in 2 or 3 years or longer, or even achieve better, is amazing. So I love the way that you've described that. That's fantastic. And of course, as you say, I've done my 3 days training, my level 1, level 2, and it was amazing. And Kelly's on here with us today, and she's done hers too. So let me ask you another question. If you were giving mentoring to a new budding entrepreneur or practitioner, or someone who wants to starting up to grow their business, whether it's Pellowah or something else, what would you say to them? What would be your secret formula after all that you've been through, Andrea, and all the different businesses that you've started and grown, some of which you created leverage with your training other massage practitioners. I don't know what the word is. And that's, like you said, you're at maximum capacity, which is the really important point, is that there's only so much we can do if we're swapping our labor for money, right? There's only so many hours in the day. So what do? We leverage, we work out a way that we can earn more money with the same amount of time or even less time, which is what you would have done when you were training other people. I presume that you were getting some of that, and then the hotel were leveraging, in fact, by getting some of what you did. So what is your secret formula that you would pass on to a new business person or entrepreneur? What would be?
Follow your intuition.
Let's say they don't know how to listen to their intuition.
So the first thing is, because intuition is subtle, right? So, and I will be creating some training videos for this, creating a little mini intuition course for people as well, so they can follow. It's just another thing on my checklist of things to do. So I will be creating that so people can have access to that. But the easiest way, and we'll put the link below, is to start with Qigong. So the Qigong video we'll put below is a 5-minute Qigong that is designed specifically by me and my Qigong teacher, who I've been studying with for 25 years, for people during COVID. So it'll strengthen all your immunity organs, 5 immunity organs, shift the kidney chi from fear to courage, which is also for longevity and fearlessness, and strengthen the lung chi for organization. So it's a moving meditation, and it will focus your mind, your body, and your breath. So you start with the Qigong, and I'm in the process of creating an intuitive ease journal to go along with that. So you can use that to help guide you. Now, Dr. Shara did the 5-minute Qigong, and she manifested 5,000 in 1.5 days from the video. She hadn't done any Qigong with me yet, just the video. So it's very thorough, okay? 5,000.
Okay, okay, beautiful. So you'd say follow your intuition and look at the ways to do it. One of the ways would be Qigong, which is a little 5-minute video you're going to put up.
Yes.
Or offer on LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then also my next question would be, Andrea, what in your view, after that is the best way for an entrepreneur or a new business owner to grow their new business? Or even someone, if it's not a new business, we all want to grow. What is the best way in your view to do that?
Okay, so so how I grew my business, the wellness business, the massage business 30 odd years ago, was I actually embodied the energy of being the best in my field.
Right.
Okay. I said, I am the best in my field. My ideal clients are looking for me, and they know they want to work with me. So I lived in that assumption, and that of not just from an ego, but from a body knowing, but to bring that into your body. So when you're doing the Qigong, to bring that in your body of somebody that's already successful, already healthy, and already magnetic. You are the best in your field. You know what you're doing. You live in that. That's what I did. I lived in that totally, even though I didn't know much about mindset at that time, but I just lived in that I'm the best in my field. And I found the best massage therapist and swapped with her 90-minute massage every week for 10 years. So I did the skill as well, right? But embodying that and following your intuition, because your intuition is your superpower. That's the thing that's going to enable you to be innovative, to be out of the box thinking, to be ahead of your game amongst all the AI and technology that's taking over. They're now doing robotic massage, right? So that's going to affect massage therapists, robotic massage by a robot.
Goodness.
So they've been going on for several years. So what I'm saying is our industry's changing.
Everything's changing.
They'll probably be having coaching with a robot eventually. So what I'm saying is our intuition, our intuitive intelligence is the only game changer that is going to enable us to be ahead of the game in our field. That's my belief anyway.
Yeah, I love that, Andrea. Thank you. I totally agree with you. As you know, what you just described really was the process that I also use, which is to decide or to visualize first of all what it is you want, like in detail. So you had a detailed picture of being the best and who you were and what your clients said about you and all of those things. You had that to start out with, and that's the most important thing, is that you can't go into something with a kind of maybe sort of, I'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Is the economy going to affect it? The only way to get what you want is to actually make that decision and that commitment. I am, because I am
Yes.
is the most powerful statement.
I
am the best, I have this amazing business, and then go ahead living life as if it's already happened. And I've done that work with Kelly as well, with the blueprint session, Kelly, and you know how we did that. So I love that you did that, and you weren't even a coach then.
No,
and
I didn't even have a business coach at that time.
And so your intuition was telling you that. That's what started it, Your
Yes.
intuition said to you, do this. So
Yes.
that's amazing. That's really good. Really, really good to hear. We're very much on the same page there.
Yes.
And so what I would also, we're getting close to time. What I would also like to ask you is, would you be willing to talk about your biggest challenge over the years up until now in growing your businesses or in anything else in your life, your health or whatever?
Sure. I've had 7 businesses, so I've tried many things. Okay. And the biggest challenge was my self-doubt. The biggest challenge was my misalignment with who I really was. The biggest challenge was people pleasing and believing that everybody else had it better and comparing myself to everybody else.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge was I didn't realize that my difference was my brilliance. My difference was my brilliance, and your difference is your brilliance. And it's tied to your intuition.
That's really great. That's really great insights, Andrea. Last question for you. I'm just going to look through, just decide which one I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What is your dream for your business and your life in, say, the next 5 to 10 years? What's your big vision
5 to 10 years.
that you're going for? Because you must have one.
Yeah. My dream is to thrive, to really embody living as my true nature, my intuitive true nature every day.
What does that look like? What's the specificity of that?
So, and in that way, I'm a walking embodiment of that. And so everybody that I meet is touched and inspired by that for themselves. And my physical dream is to reach, it changes every time, but 100 million people in this planet, that they may know that their intuitive ease and intelligence is the most important thing, and they are connected with it and they trust it. And I do that through the academy.
Yeah.
And that to me, and to create generational impact.
Beautiful.
That's my biggest dream.
That's fantastic. That's a great dream. That's a great purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to finish up by saying, because Kelly's here, I think she's still here. Kelly, do you have any questions for Andrea that you can type into the chat? I don't know if you can see the chat, Andrea, but I can. And Andrea said Qigong is amazing. I've been practicing it every single morning and love it. So there you go, listeners.
Well done,
me
Kelly.
too. It is really, really effective and creates a beautiful impact in our lives. So any questions from Kelly? Or any questions from you, Andre, or any final comments you'd like to make? And also, how can people get in touch with you? One at a time.
Okay,
So any questions or comments?
I just want to say thank you so much, Karen, for inviting me on your Entrepreneurs Gold Nuggets. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again. And
Excuse me.
and I just want to say that it doesn't matter what background you've had, how much money you got in the bank, whether you're a single woman, whether you're a single person or whatever, and it doesn't matter what has happened in your business before, up till now, the most important thing is this moment now. The most important thing is this moment now.
Thank
In this
you.
moment, anything can change. And I want you to trust that. I invite you to trust that. In this moment, the breath is coming into you and the breath is going out of you. And that breath is connected to your vital chi life force, the universal life force inside of you. And that is where the magic is. You can trust it totally.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. I completely agree. I want to reiterate that, Andrea, is that we can draw a line in the sand. We are not our history. We are not our past. We are not the story that we've created about that. We can write a new story. We can start the next chapter with that destination in mind of, like you said, to impact on 100 million people or whatever it is that our purpose would be and we would love. There's today, there's right now, there's this moment with Andrea to say, I'm going to draw a line in the sand and I am doing this, whatever it is. I am doing it. I have done it. And start to live like that. Start to
And
imagine
what does
you
your
are
heart?
that person.
Thank you, Karen. And the last quick thing is ask yourself, put your hands on your heart, hand on your stomach. What does my heart truly love? What does it truly want? So make sure your business is connected to your heart, your mind, and your body and your soul. Do not fight your body for your business. It has to be aligned. What does my heart truly want? What would it love? Because that is the most magnetic part of you.
Thank you, Andrea. This has been a
Thank you, Karen.
wonderful, wonderful session of my Entrepreneurs Gold Nuggets Series 2. Thank you so much for joining us and for working through the questions or giving us your insights and your gold nuggets. It's been very, very valuable. Kelly said this has been fantastic, great conversation. Have a lovely day, everyone. So you too, Kelly. We're about to end now. And if anyone else has any questions, where can they reach you, Andrea? How can they ask you what they want to know or how to do these Qigong things and intuition and things like that? How can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can send me a message on LinkedIn, like, if you're on LinkedIn but I'll put the link below, where you can book in for a free 15-minute chat or free 15-minute Pellowah taster, valued at $65, so you get a taste of this incredible energy. And yes, so I'm happy to chat and clarify your next step in growing your business in a sustainable, magnetic, heart-centered way.
That's fantastic. And do you have a website for Intuitive Ease Academy or
Yeah, so it's
email?
just Intuitive, INTRIVE, Ease Academy.com. So you type that in and it will go to the link.
That sounds amazing. So put any of those links up on the LinkedIn Live. You'll see it afterwards, Andrea. When you go into LinkedIn, you'll see this live, okay? And then you can repost it or whatever. But we'll end now and say goodbye. Thanks for joining us, Kelly. Excuse me. I hope everyone who watches this gains so many insights and valuable gold nuggets from Andrea's wonderful, wonderful discussion with us today. Have a beautiful day, everyone, or night, wherever you are in the world watching this. Bye. Bye, Andrea. Thank you.